I totally forgot that I picked these onions in the last video, and I haven't been out here since, so I will pick these up and take them in now. They still look all right actually, so I will take them in and use them as well. I'll use them tonight just to get them used, I think. Hello all, welcome back. Thanks for your comments, subs and likes. Right, what I think I'm going to do, because it is quite a sunny day today, believe it or not, the sun is out, but I'm in the shade at the moment, so it is quite chilly. But once the sun comes round later on, it'll be quite nice. So I thought I'll give you a December tour, and while the weather was pretty wet and horrible and cold and stuff, I was having a little look around cupboards and stuff indoors, sorting them out, and I'll come across these. So they were done a few years ago now, and I sort of like forgot I did them, so I will show you what they are after the tour. This is the entrance to the allotment part of the garden. As you can see, I've got a pagoda up, and it's got some roses on this beginning bit. Then we've got the wisteria, which is very nice when you get the long flowers and stuff. And then we've got the allotment gate with the gnomes that I got given on each side. They could do with a bit of a tidy up really, giving a bit of a spruce up and spray and what have you, but yeah. Then we've got the beech hedge. I did plant another one there, but it never survived, so I've only got one there at the moment. Then we've got the gate that needs to be repaired as well. Then we've got this very long bed down the edge here. I've just planted a pear tree in, so we'll have to see how that goes in the year. But that bloomed quite well last year, and I never got any pears off of it or anything, so hopefully moving it to there, I'm going to get some pears on it this year. Then obviously we've got the long bed. This has been the horse manured as well. It got done quite early, to be honest, but there is possibly going to be onions going in here. Then we go at the top here. We've got the horse manure bin there. That's just one. I've got another one there as well, but this is horse manure from last year. So I put loads of hamster bedding on top because it was very wet, so you can't really see the horse manure in there. But there is still worms and life in there, so that one's still being broken down a little bit because that was very wet, that one. Whereas this one, I just never topped it up with that hamster bedding. I just let it go, and as you can see, it's very good stuff. It's still got life in it. It's got worms in there as well. I'm trying to find them, but there is a few in there, so that's good. So the worms are still in there breaking it down. Then we've got my 2 compost bins. This one's I've been filling up in the year with grass mowings and everything like that. I think the last bit was grass cuttings from my neighbour, but we have got life in there as well. There is worms still active, so that is still being broken down. Let's have a look inside. And as you can see, there's a layer of fresh grass cuttings that I put on last, but the rest of it is still being broken down. This bottom bit probably could be used actually, but there is still worms in there, so it is still active, which is good. So I think putting them carpet on there has done it a world of good, to be honest. And this is my other compost bin. There isn't a lot in here actually. There's just some of my homemade compost. I'll get that off, and I'll show you inside. Right, I've got that lid off now. I'll show you inside. Right, I've got 4 bags of my, well, 4 and a bit actually, of my compost that I saved and made from last year. So that's going to be coming handy when it comes to doing some planting on and stuff, and spuds. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to use all of it on spuds or what, but I will use as much stuff as I can of my own. So, but once we get to start cutting grass and stuff, all of that grass from this year is going to go in this bin. So this is obviously going to have to be moved somewhere, but that's down the line. Then we've got this bin that you normally put your rubbish in and what have you. A little while ago I come across, well, a mate come across someone that had dumped some compost or cocoa core on the side of the road. They'd obviously done a grow or something, so I went and picked it up and sieved it all out and everything, so it's nice and ready to be used to bulk up some compost or something like that, or maybe grow some carrots in, maybe. That might be a bit of an idea for using this, I think. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. This was just this is where I had my manure in from last year that I spread over there. And we got a comfrey plant that's I grew from seed, that's in a pot, that really looks like the slugs have been having a good go. Really, I need to take all of this old growth out. Looks like there's a cherry or something there. A bird had dropped. Yeah. It is. Don't know what that is, but hey. Anyway, I need to give them a bit of a clean up. Same with the strawberries that I've got in my containers. I've got a couple of pine berries in that one. Them two are pine berries, the rest are like normal strawberries. I've got one lot of strawberries in a container like this that you used. It's repair tarmac. I don't think you heat it up, but anyway, I got them from a skip, so that was a bit of a lucky find. I also got some half-cut slabs there. That's going to be used in my path, and I've been managing to scavenge loads of bricks. I bought the sand, I don't know how long ago that was, and there's a oil drum behind there underneath them other bricks as well. But these bricks are what's going to be used to do this pathway. So really all it's cost me is them bags of sand, because I got some cement free as well that I've been dry storing. So that'd be quite good once that gets done. It's just going to cost me time really. So yeah, then I got this pagoda from a neighbour when we had a big storm. They're the four corners off of that, and I've got a bit of a plan for that, but like everything, it's time and yeah, just time and weather and what have you. Right, this was the brassica bed last year. I grew some Brussels sprouts and cabbages in here. Brussels done all right, they were quite good, and a couple of half decent cabbages in there really. So that's going to be get topped up later on in the year, because I want to grow another load more cabbages and stuff in there, and possibly some more Brussels sprouts. But I'll do my muck spreading later on in the year, because I've watched a few videos now, and I think doing it later on is a good idea, because a lot of them have been saying that it just gets washed away. So I agree with that now, to be honest. So I'll do that later on in the year. Another ongoing project is this path or slabs. I've got a couple of them down. Them first three there, they're laid. I've got to do a couple there and a couple of more on here. Then this is going to be the slab to edge out this little bit here. Then we've got this bed. This bed hasn't been horse manured or anything at the moment, so that's going to need to be done later on in the year. This is where I had some French climbing beans. I tried some tomatoes here, and I've got some cabbage in there now. That's sort of what I had in here last year, and obviously some spring onions there, and a few turnips to dry it out. And this is another new bit of the bed that's been done this year. I've done a horticultural bed. I'll put the video to some of these projects up in the corner there at the end. So I planted my garlic in there a little while ago. That's also in the videos. If you want to look back and have a butcher's, have a look. I've got a rhubarb crown over there that done all right, but I didn't really get anything off of it this year because it was buried quite deep last year and it just started to come up. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get a good bit of rhubarb this year with that. I've done some turnips, or was it swede here? No, I think it was a turnip, wasn't it? They were sort of alright. Out the back of this bed I've got an apple tree that I got when it was a little whip, and I've transformed it into an apple espalier, so that gets quite a lot of nice blooms in the background when it's in nice flower and what have you. I had some good apples off of this year, so I'm not sure how old it is, but I think it's like 6 years old or 7 maybe. I'll have to look back, and if I find a date I will put it up in here when I planted it out. But that done really well this year. I've got some nice apples off of that, so yeah, that worked out quite well, to be honest, and it gives me a nice backdrop when it's in flower. I also done this, I can't remember when this was, quite a while ago, but I had moved that bed over so it gave me more space to put 2 water barrels there. So obviously after I moved the bed, I laid out a crazy paving to put my water butts on. That's also on the channel, so if you want to look back and have a look how I done that, you can. Just look on my playlist and it's up there. Right, I'll take you into the Polytunnel and give you a look round there. As you can see, we're inside the Polytunnel now, and I'll just show you around here and what I have done with stuff. So obviously this has been in there for quite a long time now actually, so I'm not sure how old these beds are and what have you. I could look back because there is videos on everything that I have done in here, so if you fancy having a look back, then there is videos of everything that I have done. So we've got a couple of beds in here. I've done some tomatoes in this bed this year and they've done really well, as you might have seen on my last year's tomatoes. I've done a couple of tomatoes in there as well. I don't think they did as well, but I've got a couple of them. Or was it a cucumber? I can't remember whether the cucumber was in there or not, but I did have a mini munch cucumber that I had a couple of nice cucumbers off. Then I had some tomatoes in there as well. They didn't do that well, I remember that. So I've amended this bed for this year with the horse manure. Right, these are the peas that I started earlier in the year, and I looked at these recently and I couldn't really see any signs of peas, but I will admit I just had a little look before I started the video, and I'm not sure if we've got any little pea life at the moment. Possibly that one there, but I'm not quite sure at the moment. There is a bit of growth on these as well, so I will just leave them and see what happens with them, to be honest, because I'm not sure if they are peas or anything yet. Then we've got some strawberry runners from this year. They're doing all right. I just taken all the dead leaves off, and a couple of them look like they might be dead. This one hasn't got any leaves, but it is green, so we'll have to see. They look like they're dampening off, actually. They feel quite wet. I haven't watered them for a long time, but that one feels quite damp, actually. So I might have to put a cloth or something over them to try and dry them out a bit more. I have got one there, or a couple there that I can use. Then we've got the daisies from next door, and the heuchera, and the pansy that was growing in the garden from some seeds that I must have blown into that area. And yeah, just a drawer of stuff. I've took these benches out recently and gave them a good clean as well. Found a few snails and what have you underneath there. Now I've just got my potting bench with loads of like stuff that I use, and my drawers. I've got my pots in and stuff underneath this shelf, but these tubs are getting a bit brittle because of the heat and stuff, so I'll probably have to change that one. Then we've got the carnation that I took cuttings from last year that I've waiting to grow a little bit more. Then I can take some more cuttings from this to try and get a bit more stock. Then I've got these two heucheras. That's a bit dry, that one, actually. This one's not so bad. I might give this one a little bit of water because it is quite dry. And as you can see, the leaves are dying off a little bit. But this one isn't too bad, so I'll give that a little water, I think. Right, I'm inside today. We had a big storm last night, and I looked out the old window, and the old polytunnel was moving about a little bit, but I've been outside and had a quick look round, and it seems to be all right. So I've brought my plans inside and got them on a coffee table, so I will show you and go through what I've got on them. Right, this is my first draft, if you want to call it that. As you can see, it's pretty basic, but it's just laying out like the beds and the polytunnel and stuff. So yeah, as you can see, the two compost bins, they were there actually till I moved them up this top bit up here. And yeah, it was just a basic one to give me an idea of where to put beds and stuff. I can't remember, I don't know what day I did that because it hasn't got it on it. So, and this is the next one, a bit more in depth, because obviously I got my little bit of a layout first. But as you can see, it's pretty much there with what I've got, or what I had before I moved this little pathway bit. So now, obviously, that is just one big bed. Comfrey, oh yeah, that was a pot of comfrey I had, but I've got my 2 water butts there now, and obviously this is the big long bed that I've just put my pear tree roughly there or something like that. Then obviously I've got my path going up, and there's the big silver birch tree at the top. I've put the burning bin up there, I don't know why, but that's where them 2 bigger composts are. And as you can see, I've put a mess of stuff. That's where obviously I've got my strawberries and that burning bin and them slabs and stuff. That's where the compost bin, or no, it was a manure bin was there. So obviously this is one big bed. I was going to do bricks around the edge of it, but yeah, I don't know whether I've got enough bricks to do that. I probably won't do the bricks around there. I'll use what bricks I've got on that pathway with the half cut slabs in the middle. Then obviously I've got the step there. Then I've got my polytunnel there. Right, the next one. Right, this is a bit of a drawing of the inside and a bit of a plan for them inside the polytunnel. I've obviously got the old brassica bed there. These are just like, well, you can see what they are, wooden battens for beefsteak, tomatoes and stuff. And this is inside the polytunnel. Obviously the door there. These are those 2 round drainage bins that I cut down and that I've done tomatoes in there last year. This is that big long bed that I did cucumber and tomatoes in before. As you can see there, it's got beefsteak tomatoes in there, so I did do a load of beefsteaks. I tried some red kohlrabi in there as well actually. And this is the bench that goes up there. This bench is moved over a little bit to that side, but yeah, it's more or less the way I wanted it in the first place. So yeah, not too bad. So I did have a bit of a plan. Like I said, I forgot I drew them actually, but oh, there you go. As I said earlier, we had a bit of a storm last night and it's very wet outside, so I never really got the chance to get outside and do anything. So yeah, we'll have to see how the weather goes, but I want to get or start getting some seeds sown in the next video. So I will do that. I don't want to do that and mix up the plot tour and all that, so I will save the seed sowing for the week, because I normally have a video out on Wednesday, so I will do them seeds and then post a video on Wednesday night at around about 7 o'clock like I normally do. So thanks for watching, commenting and subscribing, and like I say, don't be shy, hit the subscribe, then you'll see what I get up to next. Right, catch you later, bye.